And now the rest of our stories. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says he has no regrets for supporting President Bola Tinubu in the 2023 general elections. This is coming after his ministerial appointment. Wike was the governor of Rivers State for 8 years under the platform of the People's Democratic Party, who was invited by President Tinubu to serve as Federal Capital Territory Minister in the All Progressives Congress APC-led federal government. While speaking at a Thanksgiving service in Ochigba organized by the PDP in Ahoda East and West local government areas of the state, Wike thanked President Tinubu for believing in him. Wike said he was threatened before the presidential elections for supporting Tinubu, adding that he would do the same thing if another opportunity comes, and also debunked allegations of land grabbing leveled against him by some residents of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Chief Magistrate Afyong Victor Osimka has emerged as the new Chief Registrar for the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary. A statement on Friday by Mr. Gilbert Uko, the Chief Press Secretary to Akwa Ibom State Chief Judge Justice Ekaite Obot, said the new Chief Registrar until her appointment on December 23, 2024 was the presiding Chief Magistrate at the Chief Magistrates Court, Abak. He said Mrs. Usimka emerged after a rigorous interview conducted by the State's Judicial Service Commission to fill the existing vacancy following the elevation of the former Registrar Chief Magistrate Winifred Umuhandi to the position of a judge of the Akwa Ibom State High Court. Performing the swearing-in ceremony, the Chief Judge of Akwa Ibom State, Honorable Justice Ekaite Fabian Obot, said she was grateful to God for making it possible to successfully appoint the new Chief Registrar after a rigorous interview, adding that a lot of people showed dexterity, brilliance and grace at the interview, noting that Chief Magistrate Afyong Osimka displayed humility, grace combined with the possibility that she would be a hard-working Chief Registrar. The Chief Judge urged the newly sworn-in Chief Registrar to do her job diligently without fear or favor and to report to her any challenge she may encounter in her administration, and advising her also to seek advice from her predecessor while cautioning that she shuns unnecessary gossips in the course of her duties. Justice Obot also commended the outgone Chief Registrar Winifred Umahandi, now judge, whom she said served very gloriously in that capacity, hoping that the incoming Chief Registrar will sustain the momentum. From her profile, the new Chief Registrar, an indigene of Umbo local government area of the state, was born on 9th December 1979 and called to bar in 2005. She was appointed magistrate in 2011 and is married with kids. President General of Ohaneze Indibo Worldwide, Nze Ozichukwu, has inaugurated the screening and election committees in Owerri, Imo State capital, for the election of the new President General. Chukwu, who was appointed to complete the tenure of Imo State after the death of Chief Emmanuel Nwanyanwu, has pledged to ensure a credible, peaceful election of his successor in January 2025. Chukwu called on the committee's members to eschew nepotism and insist on the rule of law, and also harped on the need to sustain the reputation of excellence for which the Igbo nation is known. The Electoral Committee Chairman, Ejiofor Onya, who spoke on behalf of the members of the screening committee led by Eme Okoro, thanked the PG for finding him and other committee members worthy of the assignment and promised to do his best to achieve the organization's set goal, and appeal to Igbo leaders, the IMIOB General Assembly and committee members to cooperate with the committees. Chukwu, whose tenure will end on January 10, 2025, was appointed to lead the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization following the death of former President General Nwanyanwu. In line with the doctrine of necessity, the Imo chapter of Ohaneze, led by Mr. Ihemedu, presented Chukwu to the Imiobi Ohaneze to exhaust the balance of a 4-year tenure allotted to Imo, which was cut short by the deaths of Professor George Obiozo in 2022 and Chief Emmanuel Nwanyanwu in 2024. Analysts has warned businessmen and women to desist from selling already unregistered food products in the Nigerian market. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, Public Affairs Analyst Chief Ogbonna Nwuke suggested that those involved in producing and selling of unregistered items should be penalized. Chief Nwuke, however, advised Nigerians that are in the business of production to contact the appropriate agency for licensing. This comes after the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has seized unregistered food products worth over 3.8 billion naira. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has immortalized his predecessor Rotimi Akeredolu after he announced after Akeredolu's death on December 27, 2023. Speaking during the flagship flag-off ceremony for the construction of the new High Court complex, also called the Judiciary Village in Akure, the state's capital, Ayedatiwa described the project as a historic milestone for the state, adding that the project was conceived under the leadership and vision of the late governor. Ayedatiwa, who expressed his administration's commitment to the advancement of justice and the welfare of judicial officers in the state, highlighted the importance of embarking on the project, adding that the complex will include a ceremonial court, modular courts, a registry, a library, exhibition buildings, a utility building, and modern parking facilities, describing the design as a measure to create a conducive environment for the administration of justice and to speed up the dispensation of justice in Ondo State. Earlier in his welcome remarks, the state's Chief Judge, Justice Olusegun Odusola, lauded the initiative, describing it as a landmark achievement of the current administration in the state. Trade Union Congress and the Joint Negotiation Committee in Ogun State have described Governor Dapo Abiodun as a compassionate leader who has the interests of hawkers at heart. In separate letters of gratitude to the governor for approving the Christmas bonus for the state's workforce, the two unions said the gesture is a further demonstration of Prince Abiodun's commitment to the welfare of their members. TUC, in a letter signed by the chairman of the Ogun State Council, Comrade Akim Lasisi, described the bonus payment as a gesture that will help workers overcome the present economic challenges and appreciated the government's efforts to maintain stability in industrial relations and pledged heartfelt gratitude, unwavering loyalty, and support for his administration. In its own letter of appreciation, the Joint Negotiation Committee Chairman, Comrade Olude Issa, said the bonus will empower the state workers to have successful celebrations. Federal Road Safety Corps has confirmed the death of 2 people and 15 others injured in a lone accident involving a Toyota Hiace bus at Sapede on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Ogun State. The spokesperson for FRSC in Ogun, Mrs. Florence Okbe, who confirmed the incident in Abeokuta, said the incident was caused by tire burst, which resulted in the loss of control, saying that the bus somersaulted and crashed. Okbe said 18 people were in the bus marked LSRO 585YH, including 9 men, 5 women, 2 boys and 2 girls, adding that 15 people who got injured comprised 8 men, 4 women, 2 boys and 1 girl, while 2 people died, comprising 1 man and a woman. Kaduna Police Command has arrested a notorious kidnapper and smashed a kidnapping syndicate that has been terrorizing residents of the state. Police Public Relations Officer ASP Manse Hansen, in a statement in Kaduna, said the police also recovered the fabricated AK-47 rifle, 58 blocks of Arizona, and 33 bags of suspended cannabis from the suspect. The statement said the suspect, Shule Mohammed, was arrested on Christmas Day by officers from the Saminaka Division, adding that Mohammed confessed to being a member of a notorious kidnapping gang responsible for the abduction of a district head on August 14, 2024. In the same vein, the police also recovered 3 vehicles abandoned along the Kano-Zara Expressway, which were loaded with illegal substances, while the Commissioner of Police hailed the officers for their swift response and assured the public of the command's commitment to eradicating the menace of kidnapping and drug trafficking in the state. Survivor of the airstrike in Silame local government area of Sokoto State has recounted the harrowing experience of watching her family perish in a tragic incident. The emotional woman, who requested anonymity, described how her father, mother and 4 younger siblings were burnt to death during the airstrike. This is coming after the airstrike which hit Gidan Sama and Rumtuwa communities in Silame local government area on Wednesday claimed the lives of 10 civilians, animals, and also left many other people injured. The fighter jet was targeting Laku Rawa terrorists in the areas, but in the process dropped explosives on boats on some innocent people. Sokoto State Governor Ahmed Aliyu, who visited the villages where the incidents happened, sympathized with the victims of the airstrikes and promised to set up a committee to investigate the incident in order to avert future reoccurrence. Meanwhile, the coordinator Joint Media Coordination Center of the operation, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, said the military operations were conducted based on thorough intelligence and reconnaissance missions, while the Nigerian Air Force has promised to launch a thorough investigation into airstrikes on the 2 villages. Reacting, the Nigerian Air Force spokesperson, Air Vice Marshal Olushola Akim Boyewa, insisted the airstrikes were carried out based on credible intelligence from multiple sources and confirmatory area surveillance, and assured that reports of civilian casualties will be thoroughly investigated. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has warned civilians harboring suspected criminals to desist from such acts or face the consequences of their actions. He stated this during his visit to the troops of Operation Fasan Yama at 8th Division Headquarters in Sokoto in response to the Christmas Day bombing of civilians in 2 communities in the Silame local government by the Nigerian Air Force, where an airstrike intended to kill Laku Rawa terrorists mistakenly hit Gidan Sama and Rumtuwa communities, killing at least 10 villagers and leaving several others wounded. However, Sokoto State Governor Alhaji Ahmed Aliyu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and ex-Sokoto Governor Aminu Tambuwal have called for an impartial investigation into the incident. But speaking to journalists on the accidental bombing, Musa hinted that the villagers were to blame for allegedly harboring terrorists, insisting that the military will not take any responsibility for attacks on any community hobnobbing with militants. He called Niger, Chad, Benin, and other neighboring countries to cooperate with Nigeria in dealing with the enemies of peace. Meanwhile, Governor Aliyu has visited the Gidan Sama and Rumtuwa communities to assess the damage and offer condolences to the victims' families, and announced a donation of 20 million naira and 100 bags of assorted food items for the grieving families. Garun Malam local government area of Kano State has shut down the Kwana Gafan tomato market, which was allegedly being used for prostitution, adultery, homosexuality, and other immoral activities. Eyewitness said some youths and married women were engaging in these acts within the market premises, prompting the local council to take action to restore sanity. The council chairman Aminu Kadawas confirmed the development that all market occupants were given a 7-day ultimatum to vacate the premises or face the full wrath of the law, adding that a date will be announced on when the market will be reopened for normal activities. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Tourism and Management, Aisha Saji, who hailed the decision, said during her tenure as Commissioner for Women Affairs, she led a team of security personnel and HISBA officials in a raid at the same market, where 43 individuals, including 34 females and 9 males aged between 15 and 18, were arrested for prostitution and illegal sale of alcoholic substances. The Commissioner also wrote a report recommending the demolition of the market for the construction of a skill acquisition center to address unemployment, among others, in the area. Residents of Plateau have lauded the Plateau State Governor Caleb Motfwang for promoting good and inclusive governance in the state. Some residents who spoke on Thursday night at a Christmas luncheon organized by the state government commended the governor for ensuring rapid and steady development in the state, and former governors Joshua Darie, Jonah Jang, and Simon Lalong were among the dignitaries at the event. The former military governor of the state, Rear Admiral Samuel Atikum, retired, lauded Mutfwang's various initiatives aimed at tackling the myriads of security challenges in the state, and also highlighted the Mutfwang holistic approach towards constructing new roads and rehabilitating existing ones, commending him for promoting inclusive governance at all levels. The former military governor, however, called on elders in the state to shelve all political, ethnic, and religious differences and support the governor to succeed. Emir of Kanam, Alhaji Muazu Babangida, who spoke on behalf of the traditional rulers, commended the governor for initiating moves aimed at uniting the people and fostering sustainable development in the state. Responding, Mutfwang thanked the elders for honoring the invitation in spite of the short notice, expressed confidence that with their support, Plateau would experience unprecedented growth in the coming years. Highlighting his vision for a secure Plateau, the governor said his administration had made significant investments in technology to boost surveillance and swift response to any security breach, and promised to frequently interface with the elders and other key stakeholders for the overall interest of the state. Bauchi State Projects Office of Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape has flagged off the planting of 500 tree seedlings along the 5-kilometer Atiku Abubakar Road in Bauchi Metropolis. The exercise, conducted in collaboration with the State Environmental Protection Agency and an NGO known as Yali Network Nigeria, aims to mitigate the effects of climate change on the local population. While inaugurating the exercise, part of the ongoing tree planting campaign in the state, Acre Soul Project Coordinator Dr. Ibrahim Kabel stressed on the primary goal to protect the environment and combat deforestation, adding that trees had already been planted along major roads in the state capital, including the roads leading to Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa International Airport and Sam Nujuma. Dr. Kabe urged the benefiting communities to take ownership of the trees and ensure their survival, and assured them that the project, in collaboration with other agencies, will provide the necessary support to maintain the planted trees. He expressed satisfaction that residents of Bauchi State are increasingly embracing tree planting, a marked improvement from the past, and also instructed the 7 community leaders whose areas are beneficiaries of the initiative to assign each planted seedling to an individual responsible for its care and survival. The Bauchi State Coordinator of Yali Network Nigeria, Ibrahim Ahmed Iliyasu, expressed gratitude to Acre Soul and other partners for their commitments to the initiative. Analysts has expressed assurance that the tax reform of President Bola Tinubu is not meant to favor a particular region of the country, but for all Nigerians. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowout, public affairs analyst Chief Ogbonna Nwuke said there are more to benefit from the tax reform policy than what northern leaders are seen as cheating.
Those arguments don't make any sense. Is that all the tax reform is all about? And the answer is no. We have obsolete laws when it comes to taxation. There are best practices across the world when it comes to taxation. And this reform that, of course, I'm not a member of the APC, okay. I speak as a Nigerian.
Okay.
And this tax reform that you're talking about is something that should be.
Speaking further, Chief Nwuke advised that the tax reform bill is not meant to undo nothing else.
Claim that mere some attempt to reverse the way VAT have been money have been dispensed is anti-not. You cannot, and the English tell us you put your mouth where your money is. Why did they say so? So let them not tell us that anything that doesn't favor them is anti-North. No, now it's not true now. Okay, if they think it's anti-North, they must do.
This comes after the Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed Abdul Qadri, has again expressed concern over the insistence of the All Progressive Congress-led federal government tax reform policy, which he opined could lead to economic setbacks, particularly in northern Nigeria. Federal government of Nigeria has flagged off the Greater Duse water supply project worth 59.4 billion naira in Siltin Mawa village, Ringrim local government area of Jigawa State. The project aims to provide adequate and clean water to the residents of Duse, the state capital, and the project, conceived 24 years ago, is being actualized by the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Useve, said the project will be completed within 24 months and will provide 10 million liters of water, adding that the project, which will be executed by Jidadu Ventures Limited, includes the construction of a 10,000 meters base concrete reservoir and housing quarters. According to the minister, the Tinubu-led administration has funded the project to provide basic necessities of life to the people of Jigawa State, adding that the project is a fulfillment of the promise made by President Tinubu during his campaign visit to the late Emir of Duse, Alhaji Nuhu Muhammadu Sanusi, in 2023. In his remark, the Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi commended Tinubu for making the long-aborted dream of the Jigawa State people on this project a reality, and also stressed that the project is expected to bring significant developments to the state and put an end to the perennial water scarcity that has been a recurring decimal in the lives of the residents of Duse and environments. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security has commended the distribution of subsidized inputs to farmers in Jigawa State. Represented by the Jigawa State Coordinator, Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Engineer Saleh Salusi, the minister expressed delight at the exercise. While interacting with journalists during the inspection tour of the ongoing distribution of agricultural inputs to farmers at designated farmer center at Miga and Duse in Jigawa State, Salusi, on behalf of the minister, said the program was expected to increase wheat production across the country and reduce reliance on imported wheat. According to Salusi, the government provided the inputs at a 75% subsidy, while the farmers paid the remaining 25%, adding that in Jigawa, about 80,000 farmers were targeted to benefit from the program, stressing further each farmer will receive 4 bags of fertilizer and 1 bag of 50 kilogram wheat seeds at a cost of 160,000 naira, representing 25% of the total package. He highlighted, however, the minister's representative said each one of the farmers is expected to cultivate about a hectare or more in the designated areas, while some beneficiaries of the program expressed gratitude to the government for the gesture. You are watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has expressed deep condolences to the government and people of India over the death of former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Singh, who served as India's Prime Minister from 2004 to 2014, passed away on Thursday at the age of 92. A statement released by the State House on Friday and signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, Tinubu described Singh as a visionary leader whose contributions to Nigeria-India relations remain significant. This is coming after Singh's historic 2007 visit to Nigeria, during which the late Prime Minister became one of the few global leaders to address a joint session of the Nigerian National Assembly. He expressed gratitude to the Indian people for celebrating Singh's legacy and prayed that his life of service continues to inspire future generations. Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria has released a new price list for transport fares to 12 states based on the 50% transport palliative provided by the federal government. Road Transport is among the 5 transport units and companies partnering with the federal government in the transport palliative scheme. Aside from the ROTEAN, the National Union of Road Transport Workers, the Association of Luxurious Bus Owners of Nigeria, God is Good Motors, and the National Association of Road Transport Owners also signed a memorandum of understanding with the federal government to ease the transportation burden, of Nigerians willing to travel between December 24, 2024 to January 5, 2025. Barely 72 hours after the federal government, through the Ministry of Transportation, commenced the transport palliative to support Nigerians during the Yuletide, GIGM and the ROTEN seem to be the ones working. Note the slash is targeted at cautioning high transport costs during the Yuletide, adding that government will pay 50% of the transport fare of the travelers as it commences free rail transportation for citizens on December 20, 2024. President of the NURTW and ALBON, Musliu Akinsanwa and Noso Obajaka, respectively ignored calls and text messages of inquiries. Federal government has disclosed plans to provide accommodation to urban refugees and asylum seekers living in Abuja. The federal government of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Ahmed, also said the refugees will be trained in farming, phone repairs and other skills to make them self-reliant and alleviate their plight. Ahmed, who disclosed this in Abuja during a meeting with the refugees, asylum seekers and other stakeholders, said some of the refugees and asylum seekers are from Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Central Africa, South Africa and others. According to the refugees, their plights include poor access to health care, lack of financial empowerment, inability to parent, lack of access to education, unrecognized travel papers and documents, and discrimination, adding that the Commission would provide those interested and allocate the houses to them. He also promised to engage the Nigeria Immigration Service to resolve the issues with their travel documents.
Easy motion. Make your calls to all networks.
Wishing you a Merry Christmas, Nigeria. Glow.
Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, says the Nigerian Air Force achieved nearly 20,000 flight hours in its operation during 2024. In his Christmas goodwill message to officers and airmen, Abubakar underscored Nigerian Air Force's commitment to national security, particularly in combating insurgency, banditry, and other anti-economic activities, adding that the 20,000 flight hours demonstrate the resolute commitment to securing the nation's interest. Reflecting on the challenges faced across various theaters of operation, the CAS commended the valor, determination, and resilience of personnel for the significant operational successes achieved, stressing that professionalism have been instrumental in ensuring the security and stability of our beloved country. The Chief of Air Staff noted improvements in aircraft serviceability rates and the impact of intensified personnel training, adding that the strides were crucial for greater self-reliance and reducing dependence on foreign support, and urged continued synergy and interagency cooperation, highlighting that modern warfare demands united efforts for enduring peace and security. And now on to the business news. Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, has called on stakeholders in the Nigerian capital market to work towards building a market that is fair, transparent, and inclusive. Agama said such qualities were critical for attracting both local and foreign investors. Agama made the statement in his Christmas message to the capital market community, expressing gratitude to stakeholders for their commitment and contributions to the development of the Nigerian capital market, according to a press statement on Thursday. He reminded that the community that maintaining fairness and transparency is essential for creating a vibrant and trustworthy investment environment, and also reminded them that only a fair and transparent capital market can attract investors, both local and foreign. The SEC Director General recognized the role of issuers, investors, intermediaries, and other market participants in shaping the market into a viable destination for investment, and thanks them for their trust and confidence, which he said have been instrumental in driving growth and fostering confidence in the market. Agama also used the opportunity to celebrate SEE staff for their dedication and hard work, which he credited for the successes recorded in the Nigerian capital market, and praised their passion for the industry and expressed optimism about the opportunities the new year would bring. In his message, Agama wished the capital market community and SEE staff a joyous Christmas and a prosperous new year, expressing hope for continued collaboration and progress in 2024. Central Bank of Nigeria has attributed the significant decline in oil revenue for the third quarter of 2024 to aging pipeline infrastructure and operational inefficiencies. According to the Apex Bank's latest economic report for the third quarter of 2024, oil revenue fell by 24.72% to 1.33 trillion naira compared to the second quarter of 2024. I beg your pardon. This drop was largely due to lower receipts from petroleum profit tax and royalties, and the revenue figure fell short of the quarterly target by 75.39%, primarily due to frequent short-ins caused by deteriorating pipelines and installations. The report said oil revenue, however, fell by 24.72% to 1.33 trillion naira relative to the level in second quarter 2024 on account of lower receipts from petroleum profit tax and royalties, adding that despite the modest increase in crude oil production to 1.33 million barrels per day from 1.27 million barrels per day in the preceding quarter, while challenges including theft, vandalism, and infrastructure deficits severely hampered Nigeria's oil revenue performance. It also said the aging infrastructure not only reduced efficiency but also undermined the country's ability to meet its OPEC production quota, stressing that global factors further compounded the situation as the average spot price of Nigeria's burning light crude fell by 5.45% to $82.23 per barrel during the quarter, reflecting subdued demand in the global market. Ministry of Power plans to allocate a significant portion of its 1.2 trillion 2025 budget towards financing a range of multilateral and bilateral loan projects to enhance the electricity generation and distribution nationwide. It allocated 810 billion naira to fulfill its funding obligations of the $1.74 billion World Bank's power sector recovery and $2.62 million ensuring a more sustainable and robust energy system for the future. It also proposed a sum of 269.74 billion naira for special intervention power projects, 47.35 billion naira for the construction of transformers and substations, and 36.82 billion naira as counterpart funding for earmarked transmission lines and substation projects, adding that 585 billion naira will be spent as additional financing for the power sector recovery operation, while the DISREP will gulp 225 billion naira. To resolve this recurring issue, the Power Minister Adelabo Adebayo revealed that Nigeria requires at least $10 billion over the next 10 years to achieve a 24-hour power supply across the country. However, several underlying factors have hindered the presidential goal to generate 6,000 megawatts this year. Also, it budgeted 85 million naira as grant aid counterpart funding for donor assisted projects and 50 million naira for the hydropower development master plan and strategies for environmental and social assessment. And under the special intervention projects, the government proposed a sum of 25 billion naira for the completion of uncompleted priority projects under the Transmission Company of Nigeria, 36 billion naira for the distribution intervention for transformers, cabling and poling replacements across the 6 geopolitical zones, and 150 billion naira for the funding of the Presidential Power Initiative. Similarly, 24 billion naira was earmarked for the provision of mini-grids in federal and state polytechnics nationwide. An emergency intervention for infrastructure distribution will gap 10 billion naira, while the provision of solar street lights at major highways nationwide will get a funding of 24.7 billion naira. Federal government, through the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, has frowned at the high rate of flight delays and cancellations in recent times. Acting Director General of NCAA, Chris Najomo, said out of 5,291 flights operated in September 2024, 2,434 were delayed, while 79 were cancelled. He also said out of 5,513 flights operated in October 2024, 2,791 were delayed, while 111 flights were cancelled. Najomo, who disclosed this on Friday during a stakeholders meeting with the theme "Finding Lasting Solutions to Flight Disruptions," said he has been inundated with calls from the Presidency, the National Assembly and the Ministry concerning the flight problems. Najomo also said while he understands the challenges faced by the airlines, having been an operator himself before becoming a regulator, he would not sit down and watch things continue going wrong, and reminded the operators of the provisions of the NCAA regulations on passenger rights during disruptions as outlined in the Nigerian Civil Aviation Consumer Protection Regulations 2023. He advised the airlines to handle delays in the most professional way, saying poor management of delays is the issue with the operators, and also warned passengers against destroying airlines' property and beating up their employees over delays, saying unruly behavior would not be tolerated. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is International Tidbits. Economic of West African States has described terrorism allegations against Nigeria and other member states by the Niger Republic as unfounded and baseless. This is coming after Niger Republic had accused Nigeria and other ECOWAS members of colluding with France to destabilize the country, while the federal government denied the Niger Republic's allegation. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made the rebuttal in a statement amid claims by Niger Republic's military leader, General Abdurrahmani Chiani, that Nigeria was working with France against his country. He said the commission of the of the Commission of the Economic and West African States expressed deep concern over allegations being made against Nigeria and other ECOWAS member states of sponsoring terrorism on the African continent. ECOWAS therefore refutes any suggestion that such a generous and magnanimous country would become a state sponsor of terrorism, and called on all states in the region to promote dialogue and stability and refrain from making accusations that are not supported by any evidence. One of northern Gaza's last functioning hospitals has been forcibly evacuated by the Israeli military, medics said, after dozens of people were reportedly killed in Israeli strikes targeting the area around the healthcare facility. Aid Sabah, head of the nursing department at Kamal Adwan Hospital, said the military gave the administration 15 minutes to evacuate patients and staff into its courtyard after Israeli troops subsequently entered the hospital and were removing the remaining patients. The Israeli military said on Friday afternoon that it was carrying out an operation in the area of the hospital which it called a Hamas terrorist stronghold. The statement from Dr. Hussam Abu Safia said a building opposite the hospital was targeted by Israeli warplanes, leading to the death of a pediatrician and a lab technician as well as their families. He also said a third staff member who works as a maintenance technician was targeted and killed as he rushed to the scene of the first strike, adding that two of the hospital's paramedics were 500 meters, which is 1,640 feet away from the hospital when they were targeted and killed by another strike. The statement continued with their bodies remaining in the streets with no one able to reach them. The Israeli military said on Friday morning that it was unaware of strikes in the area of Kamal Adwan Hospital and was looking into the reports that staff had been killed, and Kamal Adwan Hospital in Beit Lahia has been under a tightening Israeli blockade imposed on parts of northern Gaza since October, when the military said it had launched an offensive to stop Hamas from regrouping there. At least 69 people, including 25 Malians, have died after a boat bound for Spain from West Africa capsized off Morocco. The makeshift boat was carrying about 80 people, but only 11 people survived, said a statement from the Ministry of Malians abroad. At least 9 of the survivors are from Mali. The boat capsized last week, but the ministry confirmed the incident on Thursday. A crisis unit has been dispatched to monitor the situation, while Mali has suffered years of jihadist and separatist violence resulting in military coups in 2020 and 2021. The junta promised to hold elections to return to civilian rule by March 2024, but this has not happened yet, while the instability in the country was due to widespread jihadist insurgency that has made much of the north and east ungovernable. According to a Spanish rights charity, Caminando Fronteras, more than 10,000 people have died attempting to reach Spain by boat from Africa this year, making it one of the world's most dangerous migrant routes. Morocco to Spain is regarded as one of the most dangerous in the world. Many of those taking this dangerous route come from sub-Saharan Africa, escaping poverty and conflict in their home countries. South Korean lawmakers impeached the acting president as the country struggles to shake off political turmoil sparked by his predecessor's martial law declaration that shocked the world. Han Duck-soo took over as acting president from President Yoon Suk-yeol, who was suspended following a parliamentary vote over his move to impose martial law on December 3. However, opposition MPs demanded Han, who is also prime minister, be removed from office as well, arguing that he has refused demands to complete Yoon's impeachment process and to bring him to justice. Counting for the impeachment was the lead as ruling People's Power Party lawmakers protested in Parliament after Wu said only a simple majority was needed in the 300-member Parliament to proceed with the impeachment. PPP lawmakers began chanting angrily and made a rush towards Wu, demanding that he resign, but did not take part in the vote. It became the second impeachment of a South Korean head of state in just 2 weeks, adding to the turmoil of the country's dynamic political landscape, and it was also South Korea's first impeachment of an acting president. The opposition said in its impeachment motion that Han was intentionally avoiding a special investigation to probe those involved in the insurrection, and has clearly stated his intention to reject the appointment of 3 constitutional court judges. Iranian foreign minister in Rome on Friday said its police arrested an Italian journalist working for Foglio newspaper. The ministry said the journalist Cecilia Sala was in Iran to carry out journalistic work when the police stopped her, adding that the reason behind her arrest or what exactly she is being accused of. The ministry also said Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani is following the case with the utmost attention, adding that Italy is working with the Iranian authorities to clarify the legal situation and to verify the conditions of detention. This is ATN Sports, and now news. Black Galaxies of Ghana will hit UYO on Friday today for the 2024 African Nations Championship qualifier against Nigeria. The second leg encounter will hold at Gospel Akpabio International Stadium, UYO, on Saturday, and 26 players, technical crew members, and officials of the Ghana Football Association will make the trip. According to information available on the official X account of the Nigeria Football Federation, the Black Galaxies will fly into Port Harcourt aboard a chartered aircraft. The contingent will then connect to UYO by road after completing immigration formalities in Port Harcourt. They will have a field of the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium later this evening. This is coming after the DD Dramani side were held to a 0-0 draw by their perennial rivals in the first leg. Super Eagles assistant coach Daniel Ogunmodede says the team is focused on securing a place at the 2024 African Nations Championship. Nigeria will host perennial rivals Ghana in the second leg of the final qualifying round tie at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium, UYO, on Saturday. The first leg at the Accra Sports Space Stadium ended in a 0-0 draw, while Ogunmodede declared that his team is battle ready for the Ghanaians. The overall winner will secure a berth at the CHAN 2024, which will be co-hosted by Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has claimed that his players are asking for new signings amid their miserable run of form. The Premier League champions were held to a 1-1 draw by Everton on Boxing Day. Iliman Ndiaye cancelled out Bernardo Silva's early strike at the Etihad and Erling Haaland after a second-half penalty saved by Jordan Pickford. City's shocking run now stretches to 1 win in 13 matches. And now, entertainment news. Famous Canadian rapper Drake has reacted to the controversial claim that rap music is dead. He said, contrary to the innuendos, rap music will never die. Drake made the declaration during a recent chat, adding that it will never die. This is coming months ago. Nigerian Afrobeat singer Wizkid sparked controversy after claiming during an interview on an international platform that rap is dead. His claimed end backlash with rappers such as Terry, Tarapman, Zoru, Ladipo, and many others, all replying him. Social media commentator Martins Ose, also known as Very Dark Man, has claimed that over 180 million naira was stolen from his non-government organization's account following a hacking incident. Ose addressed the incident in an Instagram video that the funds had been diverted to an unknown account. He also disclosed that the NGO's app was temporarily shut down for maintenance to prevent further breaches, and assured followers that updates on the recovery efforts would follow. This is coming after in October, Ose launched the Martins Vincent Ose initiative, amassing over 35 million naira in donations within hours. Shortly after, music producer Michael Collins Ajere, popularly known as Don Jazzy, contributed 100 million naira to the cause. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. No regrets supporting Tinubu, Wike. Ohaneze sets up election committees for new President General. Federal government plans to provide accommodation to urban refugees, and Central Bank decries aging pipeline infrastructure. ECOWAS defends Nigeria against Niger terrorism allegations. We want victory against Ghana, Ogun Modede. A very dark man claims 180 million missing. I am Favor Michael Chikwesri. Thank you for watching.